Wassail, people. So how are you all doing, all two of you? There's some crazy ass energy around today, and I'm blaming Virgo because they're supposed to be gatekeeping deep inside the earth. Wassail Penelope, wassail Felicia, wassail Jena. Just about to go to bed, but you can say hello. Wassail Angelic Chorister, wassail Karen. I've got a giant piece of Palo Santo, and I'm so glad because I need this. So, wassail Debbie, wassail Laurie. So last night I did lots of research. I was going to do pick a ghost by an open fire. Wassail Teresa, wassail B73. And I was digging into archetype energies of ghosts for pick a spook. And do you know, I was suddenly very aware as I dug deeper into all the different excellent, good gatekeeping. As I was digging in, I realized that a lot of the kind of global ghosts that we have are kind of misogynistic control mechanisms on the behavior of women and also the behavior of children. And I couldn't square the energies. So I just thought, you know what? Let's not do it. Let's just move into the day. But late last night, I went to sit in the garden because I like to breathe in the very thin fresh air before going to bed. And some kind of entity appeared in the garden, and it made all my skin kind of like crawl. And then this morning I went to open the gate just near where the entity appeared, and my phone flew out of my hand, fell on the floor, and it broke. And I was kind of like, I'm going to go and get the phone fixed, which I didn't manage because the shop was shut, being Sunday. But I did tell the ghost that it needed to move on, or whatever entity it was, because when I was coming back, I was going to Palo Santo its arse off. And I went around all of the space. I've been in every room with me big Palo Santo stick. And I've toned the light frequency so that nothing can come in, because all around in this area, they're preparing for the Day of the Dead tomorrow and Monday and Tuesday. And so they've been letting off lots of, as you know, loud explosions so that the dead are abroad. And there's lots of dead people in this area. I noticed them when I first came in, but I was just like, no. You're not coming in and messing with me. So I came back and I've sealed off the whole property. The only thing is someone in the intervening gap has come in, shut the bedroom door and locked it, and I can't get in the bedroom. So the host is going to come around with a key to undo the door. It's happened twice now. And a ladder up a very high window was the only way to get in. So there's been some very strange frequencies, but I am getting this message that there's something very big coming. Look, we did that lovely reading that you can watch that was all about the phases of the moon. And right now the moon is in Virgo, and Virgo are opening a space in the earth to let the earth serpent out, so that it can join with the charming tune that Leo's been playing. And at the end of today, we're going to be shifting into Libra, and that's when all these things have to start plugging in together. But the energy that I'm picking up on is a very big shift that's coming. Ooh, cosmic gift with the devil. Actually, do you know what? That's almost what the The message is about, do you choose the distortion of the fear frequency or do you choose the trust frequency? And so they've been showing me time being incredibly frayed. So Wassail Danielle, Wassail Siegfried, Wassail Melanie, Zippy67. So was going to do a Halloween reading, but this is the Halloween reading. It's about sorting ourselves out and being prepared. So I've been shown an image of how before 2020, we all have our kites that we fly, and the kites that we fly are our life. And all of the threads of all of the kites were tangled. And so the kites were not able to fly properly. And so since 2020 and through this year, 2020, remember, was judgment of ourselves, not judging ourselves, going inside and trying to fix things. And 2021 is the judgment of the world. So this energy, so all of the kites have been brought down so that we can untangle them, unweave ourselves, find our own truth. Now, within the world, you can only experience the world through your eyes and your consciousness. And that's the whole point of what's going on at the moment. And that's what's happening for us in this Janus Neptunus, this eclipse tunnel that starts on the 19th with the full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus, and then the solar eclipse that will take place in Sagittarius. I mean, look, it's about power and unblocking. So part of this image that I've been being shown is how we've got to fly our kites again, but we've got to fly our kites without them being entangled. So it's like throughout 2020 and 2021, there's a time soup, and it's like endless, infinite dimensions have opened up, but we've each got to find our own personal needle portal space in our own dimension before all of these dimensions are woven back together. And it's a stark choice of moving forwards in fear or moving forwards in trust. So hopefully as this reading goes on, and I don't know what this reading's plan is, what we're going to ask, but there's something enormous, because I keep, every time I sit down to do general readings, just to read the energies of things, I keep getting the universe from the Thoth deck, and I keep getting the card of the Four of Wands, which is completion. It's like a cosmic completion, and a personal completion is coming in November. That's all I can say. And I think it runs over into December's first 4 days in this eclipse tunnel. So let's just, yes, happy Halloween, people. Anyone that's interested, the astrological Samhain is the 7th of November this year, and that's followed a day later by the moon being in Capricorn and us getting that lineup, this alignment between the moon, Venus, and Ceres is about us preparing to restring our kite and take off. And I want to say that the kite is life, but on the top of the kite is almost a connection to your higher self. And the wind that lifts the kite is kind of much higher elven light frequencies. That's all I know at the moment, but it's a big, dramatic frequency change. So, how are you all doing anyway? You having a nice day? I've been ghost busting. Who you gonna call? Call Rusty. So, yeah, fears and trust, Delphine, they're massive, and you've got to choose. And I feel, we'll see as the reading goes on, But I think we've got to try and not fear anything. There's been that sense of witness, but you've got to witness in trust, not witness in fear. And people have been talking to me about all things like the fear they have over solar flares at the moment. Then there was the Austrian government at the moment putting out a big campaign to say within the next 3 years, by 2025, it's likely that there'll be moments of blackout of electricity in Europe. There just seems to be an onslaught of information to tip you into the wrong balance. And I get the sense that when all the dimensions sort of merge back together, you need to choose which dimension you're going into. Are you going into the one with positive attitudes, or are you going to stay in the old one? And even people who you might say have never woken up, in another dimension, somewhere else, they have woken up, and it will be that version of them that will get woven into the reality that you're heading to. So if you stay in fear, you'll get woven in with all the fear mongering. And if you stay in trust, you'll weave in, and the whole world will catch up as the threads all bind together again and all of our kites take off. So Wassail Nikki, Wassail High Priestess, Wassail Holly, Wassail Greenleaf. So let's just get some cards. I hope you can all see it and I hope you can all hear it. I've moved back inside because it might rain. Also, because the door's locked, the host of the house I'm staying in, the owner, is going to bring around a key so that I can get back into the bedroom. Again, these splits. Do you want to retrieve your soul, or do you want to keep hunting around in the toxicity of fear? Maybe that's the message. Maybe we should just all stop. Fear or trust? So, cards. Wisdom of the Elven Light, speak to us. Wisdom of the Elven Light, speak to us. Wisdom of the Elven Light, speak to us. Guide us through the coming weeks. So, this is what we have. So right now, for some reason, I'm getting the sense that the wild woman has got something to do with Virgo, because the moon's in Virgo. And I think we have to acknowledge that at the moment, the moon is playing a really important part, because the moon is moving towards the lunar eclipse. You can't just imagine that it's only your sun signs. Right now, it's the moon. Where your moon is and what you have in the zodiac houses right now. So right now, the earth is being opened for this life energy to come from the earth. And that's, this is 13. So it's about a new energy, a freedom energy. And this is about standing in your own frequency in an energy of trust, which seems like a very wild energy. And there's something thundering towards us. So because it was so blurry the other day, and I had my beautiful little quartz, which has a crescent moon on it. Let's just turn it so that you can see the moon's face. I'm going to pull the cards down, or the screen down, so that you can see the cards. And we're going to put the pendulum on the cards and see what messages we get. So the wild woman. Okay, it's an energy that you've yet to engage with. You have to engage with this frequency. There's something about a blockage of communication, almost telling me that that Leo has charmed the cosmic serpent down and you're not letting the cosmic serpent into your heart. What happens when they let the cosmic serpent into their heart? Look, now it's beginning to circle. So, Tree of Life. What's the energy of the Tree of Life? It's drawn me down to the roots. And it's talking about the energy of the earth serpent, Jormungandr, rising up to meet the other. There's a very heavy blockage on this energy. Why? Show me this energy. But this is about stepping forwards. This is about moving towards the frequency of trust, moving towards that frequency of your own sacral independence. And thunder. What's the energy of thunder? You see, the energy of thunder doesn't want to move up towards what they're telling me is Mars energy. So the bison, what are the bison up to? Right, the bison is the energy. This is the big energy that's coming in. So, Wassail. We need some cards on that. Yeah, that's exactly it, Jan. We really do have to focus on what makes us happy and ignore the orchestrated chaos. Exactly. It's a distraction to stop you going within to connect to the higher self and creator energy. Exactly. The elven light. I'm glad New York's ticking on. Wassail Kelly, Wassail Laurie B. So, going to take the little Egyptians. Walk like an Egyptian. The cosmic serpent is the consciousness of life, Debbie. People often call it Kundalini, and they talk about there only being one energy at the base of the spine. That's just the earth serpent. There's a cosmic serpent. One is Isis, one is Osiris, and together they create Horus. So it's weaving together a new epoch, and it comes through the galactic center of the universe. So the wild woman, she has 25. Not sure how clear that is. And 25 is celebration of happiness. But it's also, I'm being really drawn to this harp, because harps represent ancient music on a lyre, 4 strings. The outer 2 strings are tuned to a perfect fourth, the best and most clean, significant frequency of the cosmos, because it's an energy that rides next to each other in perfect harmony. We think of thirds and sixths as being harmonic, but they have a tension, they wobble together slightly. So when you've got a perfect fourth, there's a very open, clean pathway. So this energy, it's interesting. 2562, this is like a mirror of 26. The next step is in front of you, but it's not clear yet. Wassail Thursday. I'm guessing. Hoping that's right. Wassail Delphine, I may have said that already. Wassail M Starlight Bright. So let's get an Egyptian on the Tree of Life. The Tree of Life seems to be the... We'll take the one that's... Oh, this is going on a journey, I believe. I'll just check. Yeah, planning a trip. It's also to mature. But there's something about this that's a journey inside the veil. And then we want one for thunder. Thunder. Ooh, 11. You see, 11 is an earth frequency. It's frequency of the crystalline grid, the energy of the core from which the earth serpent rises. This is stability, willpower, and the ability to assert oneself. And it's a powerful protecting energy. So maybe this is the frequency of the earth. Look, I am avoiding Kundalini because it's a very difficult energy that in the past, in Earth Epoch, it would have felt so much like thunder, it would have knocked you out. It's still a very powerful energy, but it's racing up from within the center of the earth to connect with the cosmic serpent that is consciousness coming down from the galactic center of the universe. So let's, I feel like I need to know something about the sound healing. Thanks, Penelope. I love this blue. I wear it because somehow I want to pull this deck towards me. This is the star card from the Khazanar deck. And it's a kind of Persian deck, but it's out of print and everyone asks far too much money for it. But it will come to me. I will find it. So what are we dealing with? See, look. Mars. Mars is the trick. Mars is the trigger. Mars doesn't join the collective frequencies until later. And so that goes into that full moon in Aries reading. We all have to be Wassail Eve. Wassail Twin Tiger. Yes, I just watched Miss Rimi's Virgo reading, and it's what made me think I have to do this reading, because I've been picking up so many of the energies that she spoke about. When she said she couldn't see you because you were gone and there was all to do with time. This is all to do with the fact that we're all presently on Earth, but we're all looking at Earth from a different dimensional space. It's a time soup. And we're all supposed to disconnect from each other in many ways so that we can untangle all the wires, so that we can get our kites back up in the air at some point. Mars is a warning. It didn't want to, the pendulum didn't want to move to this energy of Mars, because Mars is still fiery with the wrong kind of toxic anger, rather than the Eris frequency. This is what this is. Divine fury. We couldn't see it yet. As I said, it was a mirror of 2662. But it's definitely got that energy of Eris. So let's have some runes. I was just reading your comment there about going inside deep into the earth in Reem's reading. And we've got R for Reem and Russell and Rob. We are the arseholes. And This is to journey, to move forwards, riding on a wave of trust, of divine fury, sacred rage somehow. And where are you journeying? Deep into the earth. It is, look, you can say it was a Virgo reading, but I think Reem's reading was talking to everyone that right now in this Virgo moon, we're all supposed to be searching for our earth Magian. This is the magician of the earth. This is planting the seed back in the sacral so that you fix the point from which you want to grow your new dimensional future. It's earthly power. So I just want one more for the thunder. One more for the thunder, please. Yeah, absolutely. But all of that's breaking down now, Tian. That sort of dense emotional energy. So we have apple bearer. This is fruit bearing. This is being offered new opportunity. So it's really interesting. It's, if you look at the motions between, this has got very much angular edging to it. It's almost a rebirth, but you've got to journey to understand the rebirth. When we get here, we've still got the energy here that's down the side, but now everything has got to be smoothed off. You can't take spiky Mars frequency where we're going. It has to be different. And you've got to plant a seed. You've got to plant a seed, and the seed is you marking your dimensional turf. And then to go from this to this is another enormous great leap. It's like we're all being asked to see something so vastly different that we can't begin to understand it. So I'm just putting, just going to bring in the pendulum again so that you can see the energies. So look, this card 25 that was about the retuning. The retuning to be, look, it's huge now, the energy. We all need to retune ourselves. This is the point that we're making. Tree of Life, the journey, the new trip that's being planned. Yeah, there's a sense of doubt. D for doubt in many ways, although it's a TH, it's the voice TH of thy earthly power. Thy. So one drop of doubt wipes everything out. You see, look, there is doubt, but the pendulum is swinging up and down, which marks life force for me. On the cards, it's marking that energy of life force. And then this thunder, this power that's coming in, you have to trust in that power. You have to seat yourself in your own dimensional space and witness the frequency of the rising earth serpent. So the journey. The journey is only just beginning. It's almost like the journey is the seed. You've got to step forwards to make this journey. And thy earthly power, look, it's just swinging over the seed. You have to find your own dimensional space and seed it, plant it. your own sacred celestial city. No, Earth Garden. The celestial city is the consciousness coming down. Fruit bearing. You see here, again, look, this energy's got a lot of power. It's got a lot of spin. So the future's bright in the energy of trust. Wassail again. So I'm going to add some of these. This cosmic gift keeps turning up. And again, do you want to be defeated by fear, one drop of doubt, or do you want to move into this cosmic energy of trust? Of trust in the fact that there's a frequency coming towards you. Don't concern yourself with anybody. You have to concern yourself with you, thy earthly power. You have to be your own Earthmasian. So, everyone else will get there with you. You have to trust that everyone will get there with you. But we've got to untangle ourselves so that we can all fly again. So, we've got one card. Let's see where this is beginning. Oh, see? Big old Zen-filled cup of love. And this morning when I was working through what they were showing me in channeled images and things, there was just so much love frequency that I began to kind of just titter and doubt it almost myself. It seemed too much, way too strong, way too profound. Now we have another card. The confusion, the fog, the Niflheimr. This is very much, I know this card is always talking about Venus in Scorpio, and she's just been there. So this, you know, she's passed through and she's triggered this melting of toxicity that takes place. But this is really talking about Neptune. And I've decided now that that's the only way to remember to ring the bells. We've had a mention of Neptune. This eclipse tunnel, the energy is Neptune. It's about melting away the fog of ancestral heritage that's been put upon us. It's time to let go of that. So let's have some bells from Neptune. I'll bring it in. I'll hold it. It softened at the end. So it felt like the first one was the moon. It was lunar. And it was very much a very strong frequency that was driving towards. So they're reminding me of this notion of these things called sterile neutrinos. Here's the science bit. So all neutrinos just zip through time and space. They go all the way through everything. They're going through me, they're going through you, they're going through the earth, and they just zip about, but they have different flavors. And there's a sterile neutrino, and they're trying to capture it at the moment. They think it's the fourth flavor. But the point is that they're always here, but they're not here. And that's the key to the energy frequency of how time weaves itself back together, because the neutrinos will pull everything in and kind of give this frequency of weaving together the new reality. Because at the moment, they're just zipping through everything because they're in everybody's personal dimensional space. And so you can't track them down. They just did a big experiment somewhere, USA, I think, with some kind of unit the size of a truck. And they said they couldn't find them, but that's more exciting. They couldn't find them because they're not stable here, because all the timelines are frayed at the moment. That's the energy message I keep getting. So just keep giving us a little bit more, a little bit more. We did just have a massive flare too. Luckily, it was at 90 degrees, so it's zipped out that way. But that part of the sun's turning around, and we will see it very, very soon, and it could flare again. Wassail Stella. Okay, I've got one more. Tree of Life. So the thunder, the offer is the Tree of Life. Life gets better. Life gets better. It offers fruit, cosmic energies, changes, this, you know, this bowl of love that this Zen, it says knight, but it's the king in this deck. So I'm going to add the Titchy Thoth to the Tall Thoth and just see what's coming. What I want to say is about this energy, you can't, none of us can sit there and just assume that this energy is going to swirl in with these sterile neutrinos and whip us into this wonderful new future. It's about trust. You have to develop ability to trust. And any energy, any negativity, any doubt that anyone brings you, you either talk them round or you don't talk to them. Simple as that. Because you haven't got time. You've got to look after your own thoughts, because the world you see is from your own consciousness. It's not from mine. I can give you some advice and guidance here, but you have to believe in the trust yourself. You have to plant the seed of your future, what you believe is going to come. Don't listen to all of the dark stories that people tell you. Just push forwards. Whoa, fabulous seagull, Wassail. So, what wipes out love? The failure to believe in it, the failure to offer. I've got a fly, tiny fly, I'm trying to get in my mouth. You have to know you can't stay there, fly. Any doubt will create a failure to harvest into this happier, loving, beautiful energy. And it is like it's a test taking us all the way through the eclipse tunnel and out the other side and all the way around, I would imagine, at least until the 19th of January, because that's when the big stuff happens. So I've got a card down here. It's Mary the Jewess, everyone. So it's time to change the toxicity. You know, I'm not saying don't read news stories, but you can look at the kind of idea of all the toxicity that's created in the world, and you can believe that governments will never listen, they will never change, that people keep demanding that we have action against certain toxic behaviors in society, and yet in our minds we say, but they never change. But that's the whole point. The power to change your future is your belief in the now. If you want to keep believing that nothing changes, then it doesn't. It is exactly, Penelope, it's time to alchemize. It's your decision. Everyone is in their own personal dimension, And you have to frame, create, work out the pathway that your future will be. And then as we move through this eclipse tunnel, you will find that's what's shifting around you. There's a massive, massive energy shift coming. So there's the last one. This one's just, it's bliss. You know, Queen of Cups, 10 of Pentacles. Transforming with the power of love, not fear of failure. Harvesting an end to anything that's toxic, which is our own thoughts. You can say, but I read that, but in your dimension, you created the space for you to read that and to doubt and to stop that energy of being zen with your frequency of love. And then you're moving that into, with that Mary the Jewess alchemizing, into a world of bliss, a really wonderful energy of trust and love. So let's pop all those cards back. And we're just going to go to another deck and see what the next story energy is coming, what they want to say. And I've got no idea what wants to be said, other than I keep having this vision that it's really important to remain in a frequency of trust. A drop of doubt will wipe it out. Look what's on the bottom. The biggest old cup of love that you could imagine. Four of Cups, cosmic gift, flying in. Let's put the runes back. She'll come at the right time, Seagull. Just witness, let it happen. You know it's all meant to happen in the right time. Right, Kal Halal Halal Baham Basham. What you saying? Right, I've already asked you to go away before, my friend. And I'm going to hide you and just say, thanks for popping by, but actually you're wrong. You're the one that's going to fall into the fear frequency, because that's what you develop. You come in and you threaten people with fear. And so you're already a lost cause. We're not lost. We can see a pathway out of the trauma that you can't. Poor thing, I'm going to offer a prayer to you that maybe you might wake up. And I hope that you do. I hope you can begin to see that your behavior is really unkind and offensive and hurts you more than it hurts us. So, thank you whoever moderated that person's ass out of here. Oh, and do you know what? I managed to hide them from the chat room at 1717. So change. That's what that is. Master Hoo-Ha. You need to change. And we're all wishing you really speedy recovery from the traumas that you live in. Thank you, Penelope. So, what are we getting next? Ooh, look. This I'm being told is Elohim energy, the architects of the universe. So the wind came out upside down, And it was just to remind me that at the moment, although we're in air epoch, the energy of the wind is being dropped so that we have time to heal before the wind picks up and lifts our kites up. And above the kites, inside the wind, is the energy of the Elohim. Very strong energies. Thank you, Sacred Seer. Oh, looky. Spirit animals. This is that frequency. I don't often talk about the notion of karma, but there is some kind of big karmic cycle that's being ended by Elven Light, Elohim, whatever you want to call them in your world. You call them whatever you want to call them. I just call them what I want to call them because I like, and it makes me feel more comfortable. So there is a big karmic cycle that's being ended currently as part of this frequency. So let's get the pendulum. The wind. I feel like the wind is gathering around each individual, but it's not lifting you up yet. It's almost winding you, holding you in space. So the ancient ones, what have you got? There's something to do with the crown chakra. Don't go there. That's not quite what I mean. But the ancient ones is not. It's like the ancient ones are showing me the image of wings, and that's Jupiter frequency. That's the energy of the light. That's the energy I use to seal this space off from the dead. And the jaguar. The jaguar is coming across as very cold at the moment, like it's an energy that doesn't necessarily want to reveal itself, which obviously means I'm just going to pry a lot harder. Yeah, it's a beautiful, this is a beautiful card, this jaguar, but it's like your spirit guide is watching, but it's when I said it was cold, it's like it's not engaging yet because you haven't found your space to take off somehow. So what's this frequency? Oh, look, wounds. Can you bypass your wounds? Oh, I'm sorry, but I've got to take that one as well. It was just underneath. Can you bypass your wounds and plant a new seed in your sacral? This is what the wind is bringing. It's spiraling everything down on you in a really positive way to ask you to look at your wounds. Because the wounds can come up and they're the energy of the doubt. They're the energy, yeah, it's Chiron. They're the energy that can knock you off balance. So it's almost like wear your wounds with pride. You've got to identify what makes you nervous. What does make you nervous? Is it what made me nervous recently was the fact that the world was closing all of its borders and it was stopping people from shifting and moving around. And that made me a bit nervous. And then I just suddenly thought, no, it's just something we go through and then we can move on through it. But I'm getting this sense of the Chiron representing the sun part of the solar eclipse. Representing where we're going. It's almost like the eclipse tunnel is the place to plant the seeds. I haven't done a proper eclipse reading, but I just have to go with the energies that come up. The sacral is where you plant your seed, and when your seed is planted, that's when your animal spirit will come down. I remember a reading we did a little while ago where the Bifrost Bridge was to connect up to the heaven and call your animal spirit down. I feel like the animal spirit's here with you, but it's not connecting into you yet. I'm so sorry. Wassail, Erica, happy Halloween. Sorry, CSMA. Sometimes I don't even know what it's about. It just kind of comes through. Yeah, we have to love our wounds. We have to love our wounds. So, Chiron, you see, this is very significant on the 8th. So I would say there's something about the energy of, I've just realized these are 2 completions. 6, 3, and 1 is a completion. 2 and 8 is a completion. They're both total 10, which is new beginnings, when the ancient ones lift us with the wind and our animal spirit. It's like being, that's the energy when the timelines kind of begin to integrate. So let's have some runes on this one. Well, we're getting this message again of maturing. Ripen, mature. This is the energy inside this eclipse tunnel from the lunar to the solar is looking at the darkness and coming out into the light. And we have underneath the ancient ones, we have Gatherum, which is the gathering, to dock. This feels very much like us coming into an alignment in the sacral and creating, when these 2 energies come together, you get the void, the Gununga gap, the place of limitless potential through which everything can regrow. Again, though, these are not energies that are easy to slide between. They're really not. Oh, there's one sliding across the desk. It's the sacral. Yo! And it's 13 frequency. It's the energy of a renewed, boundless, borderless frequency from which to grow a new tree of life. Fascinating. Wassail, Evangeline. We do need a lot of sacral work, but I think that's what we'll be doing past the 8th. Remember, on the 8th of November, when the moon moves into Capricorn, there is this energy of in the heliocentric, an alignment between the sacral series, Venus, the higher heart, the moon, the third eye, and they wrap themselves in line with the earth. And that's your own personal earth portal somehow. Your birthday is the 7th. That is Swain, astrologically. I know most people are celebrating it today, but the astrological perfect point is not the 31st. It always moves, but it's the 7th this year. So your birthday is the dead abroad. Right, we've got one. I want two more, please. Please, 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 pretty, please, please, please. YouTube error message. That's exciting. Oh, my PayPal is PayPal me at Rustling Around for all you beautiful people that might be able to donate. Just to let you know, I've actually agreed to stay here for another month because a friend of Olga's who's doing the artwork for the runes, she has a friend who lives here, but she's currently in Spain, but she's returning. And she is a lady shaman. And so I really want to meet up with her. And Spirit keeps saying, stand still, stop rushing around. I think I need to just be comfortable in the energy to plant my own sacral seed, my own dimensional space. Got two cards. I think that's two. Need one more. There it is. So, this is healing Chiron. This is the wind. To mature is to pull out all that pains you. To pull out all of the knives that you've ever had in your back. A friend of mine has just been floored with COVID, and she said that shadows, energies, darknesses were rising up through the delirium. And there's something about that frequency that's about all of us. We all have to look at these wounds. This is a divine 9. And because we're in air epoch, it's possible to pull out the wounds, pull out the swords, let all the unnecessary blood drip from them and clean them up. Wounds cannot heal if you leave the sword in. You have to remove what pains you to allow it to heal. And then under the ancient ones, the Elohim, the elven light, we have the sun. This is for everyone. Around the edge of this card are all the zodiac signs. And this is often, for me, this came up a lot and talked about being the opening of the passageway between the lunar and the solar eclipse. And so we're coming out of the solar eclipse docked with our animal spirit. We will find the true connection to our animal spirit. Look, you may already have animal spirits and you may already have them around you. What I'm saying is that there's some kind of new connection with them that's more than what you're used to feeling. And then the sacral, it's you and your animal guide. It's you and the jaguar. It's you and your sacral becoming one, and that is the strength. And lust, not in the kind of dirty sexual way, but a lust for life, a lust for the love of yourself, a lust for you having been through and come out into the new light energy that's forming around us, moving towards good things, not allowing the narrative that's out there that we're being told all the time. Change the narrative and change our own future. So again, I'm going to put the titchy Thoth on the tall Thoth, because that's the thing that we're doing today. So we've got one. I need two more, please. Two more, please. Two more, please. There we go. Oh, you see, that's really, really interesting. So, pull out the swords, clean the wounds, and you will get change. You are guaranteed to change. That energy, that infinite spiral. This is the serpents that we were talking about, working together as one. It's like you only see one snake, but in truth, it's the two snakes working together in a frequency of trust in the heart. We have the Prince of Swords. So you've got sword energy again. This is Enlil. Enlil battles hard with problems in the three-dimensional world. These are like the little wounds, the little versions of you that took on board wounds from other people. It's time to just sever them and be a bigger person. Be a person moving forwards in a chariot that will have direction, no doubt, direction. If you have doubt, you lose direction. And then coming with you and your animal spirit, we have the titchy version of what we started with in the last reading. So there's this wonderful energy of being zen with all your emotions, So that's the next part of the message, a spirit animal inside the tunnel. Maybe we should just ask directly, what do you think? What else, what can we expect in this tunnel? Wonder if this is my, I can hear a car pulling up outside. I wonder if this is the key to the bedroom arriving. She did say she'd be here this evening, and it's not really this evening yet. Not really. I call this evening 6 o'clock. It's only 5:36. So I'm putting that over there, putting these back. Oh yeah, my PayPal link is in, Stella. It's in, it's underneath. Yeah, you can't do super stickers here. You can only donate to me through PayPal, and it's because they just take 30% of your donation to YouTube, and I just think that's a little bit saucy. So, should we go with the Odin deck for what's inside the tunnel? What's inside the tunnel? I will be doing a full in-depth one on this. See you later, Secrets here. And bye, Erica. So what's in the tunnel? What's in the tunnel? What's in the tunnel? I feel like I need to just give this a... Clear the air again. We're going into Neptune's tunnel. Oh, it grew. Oh, it grew and it grew and it grew. Let's also have a little bit more Palo Santo. Oh, Beauty Way Tarot. That's a great name. I love that card so much, with the dragonfly and the lotus opening in the sacral. Ooh. I'll have a sip of water. I'm being told to say breath. It's important for everyone to work on their breath. Apparently, I have to keep saying that to you. I bought a new little tiny doTERRA, and it's called Deep Blue, and it contains lots of things to help breathing. And I put a dot on my hand, and I rub my hands together in bed, and then I wipe it over parts of me to help me breathe clearly. So, Neptune, me old mucker. What have you got in store for us, Neptune? I know. Do you know what? I've never seen a piece of Palo Santo that enormous. I really haven't. And I saw it in the window of the shop. And every time I went to the shop, it wasn't open. Do you know what? I'm going to laugh because do you know what cards turned over? Jotunheimr, the giant realm. And look, he's holding on his chair his giant piece of Palo Santo. And it makes all the other Palo Santo look tiny. I'm getting the sense that this is about how much of a giant journey you need to go on. You can't enter the Eclipse tunnel as some little pipsqueak that doesn't believe in yourself. You have to grow your self-belief even to set off entering. You've got to have an unshakable trust in your frequency, your truth, your movement in that tunnel. Idun. This is inner health and this is biome, but just recently it's coming across as a cleansing of the blood in this space. And then Dej is to be purged. And I'm actually going to put 3 more cards down. Penelope's blowing sticks. Nice wood, mate. I've always had really teeny tiny weeny ones, and actually the interesting thing is trying to get this one to light's a bugger. It's so enormous. I thought to myself, it'd be really exciting to go around with waft of thing, but actually it's a much slower burner than the small ones. I was thinking I wanted to split it, but the only way to light it is with a candle. I have to just hold it over. And even then you're like, oh, in your own time, in your own time. There seems to be a stream of smoke coming up. Here we go, here we go. It's catching, but it's like it's so thick that only the surface, and considering it's a very oily wood, it takes a while for the insides to glow enough. So let's get 3 more of these. It's very important for everyone to laugh. If you really need to laugh, go and watch Cindy's live. Switch to, first of all, Capricorn. No, Cancer, and watch Cindy just lose it. And then watch Aquarius, because that was all about great big magic wands and dirty talk. I know, I won't set my beard on fire, don't worry. Right, we have the cards. You see, that's really interesting. We've got underneath this giant frequency that you need to be in to enter the tunnel, we have the code for the bigger picture. You have to find your own code to enlarge your frequency. And then we have in the sacral, in the frequency, this is a new frequency, a new fanfare being blown. And they're saying it's actually almost like resonating a new tune from within, because you've planted your new seeds in the sacral. Cindy was far too funny. She got so giggly. And then purging, the whole world is purging. In this tunnel, William Vey giving back what was never theirs. William Vey killed the Jotun Emir who lived in the Gununga Gap with Odin together, because they're Odin's brothers. And they created the physical world from his skull and his bones and his eyebrows and all of that kind of stuff. But it's time for them to give the world back to us. I feel like I can hear more explosions being prepared. So let's just, I like this bit. Let's see. Right, look, you're not ready yet, but they're saying we've got time to prepare. You won't enter the tunnel until you big yourself up. You've got to big yourself up. There's something about your sacral, your water meadow. You need to plant seeds in your water meadow. It's interesting that it's running between the two. Open up a polarity within yourself of your dark and your light frequencies, your good and your bad, your yin and your yang. You've got to find the perfect place in the middle to plant your seed of self-trust and love. So, cleansing of the blood. Can hear church bells going off now. Right, it's not cleansed yet. It's coming. It's coming in the tunnel. It's interesting that it's the reverse of that. I'm feeling it's pointing me to the energy of the moon in Libra which is coming tonight for the next 2 or 3 days. And remember that there's the 1st of the 11th coming tomorrow. And there was something about in that, there's a load of ones on that day. Let me just go back and tell you what that was, because it was quite important. So on Monday, the 1st of November, Libra enters, the moon enters Libra. Sorry, I'll just pull you back up. The moon enters Libra at 11:11 in the evening. And so Mars also moves, which we've been having a problem with earlier. It said, don't let the anger through yet. Mars moves into the 1st degree, 1 degree of Scorpio. So there's a massive shift in the frequencies at 11:11 p.m. GMT, UTC, you have to work out the time difference. But in universal time, on the 1st of the 11th, it's the 111111. So that's when this balance, this cleansing, this purging will take place. So, there you go. We're on Heimdall. The pendant is asking us to go to the energy of his sword of truth. You have to protect yourself during this period. That's what's being brought forwards. What have we got on the horn? Nothing, because you have to protect yourself, and that becomes the frequency of your new truth. Jai Stagaz. Look, no movement. This is later. This is in the eclipse tunnel. This is the end of the eclipse tunnel. William Vey. Look, bringing the world together, giving back the frequency of the world, but it hasn't happened yet. It's at the end of the eclipse tunnel that that frequency will start to move towards us. Oh, how fabulous. Going out, Melanie, and having a party. We need to do it. Wasn't it in the Virgo region? It said you got to go on an 8-day bender. Oh, I didn't mean to put them back. I need some more cards on them. So you're doing a good thing. Explore the moon. Explore the moon. We are exploring the moon because we're observing how the moon affects us on each of its phases. Oh, Wassail Bridge, Wassail Patrick. So, yeah, it's just been your birthday, hasn't it, Bridge? Oh no, isn't today your daughter's birthday? I think it might be. Yeah, it's a you know, you can have a juice bender, you can do anything. So can we have some runes, please? Top row. I can't believe that's so magical. So, entering the eclipse tunnel will be huge and it will feel small. You've got to be bigger than a bud. You've got to be, you're newly arrived, but you've got to go in with such confidence. She's the 11th of October, then it must be your birthday today. Someone in your house has something relevant to Halloween, Bridge. Who is it? Or was it that you had a party for the birthday on Halloween last year? Yeah, you had a party for your birthday on Halloween then. So you have to go into this newer space, but you've got to be bigger than a bud. You've got to be blousy. You know, like there are some flowers like what are they called? Not clematis, rhododendrons. They're really blousy. They're not little tiny buds. They're big mothers, and they come out and they just go, "Whoa, look at me." That's what you've got to be in this eclipse tunnel, because you're looking at you in the eclipse tunnel, and you're looking at you with Neptune. So, what do we have with biome? So beautiful. The guts, guttan, shredding, changing the frequency of your biome and your blood. The energy of life that courses through you. You've got to use the eclipse tunnel to ride a new story. So the ancient stories caught in your bloodlines. Rhododendrons are your dad's flower. They're amazing flowers. I went to college near Windsor Great Park, and the whole of that area is covered in them. They're an invasive species. They're very naughty. But you can't get them out. That's why you need to be more rhododendron. So gutting, changing the frequency, shredding. It's almost like there's an energy of the elven light catching the seed that you're going to plant anew before you turn it over, and it becomes the energy of to weave something new together and plant it. And then this is also so beautiful. All of your past has to be filtered down to go through your personal portal, the needle, to open up your new future in trust and love. And it comes with needle. Okay, so stitching in the now, stitching in the current. So there's something about when you enter the eclipse season, you've got to go in bold, and you've got to go in so bold that nothing will shake you from the now. You're not going into that eclipse tunnel to review your past. You're not going into the eclipse tunnel to see a new future. You're going in the eclipse tunnel to live in the now. I didn't know that. That's interesting. I feel like I need to write that down because I really do need to remember that, because that seems very, very powerful. We'll ask. So, the eclipse tunnel is about stitching in the now, no past, no future. Interesting. So, very interesting. The eclipse tunnel, you have to live totally in the now. You can't be toppled by your past, and you can't be toppled by the desire for what your future should be. You just have to walk calmly somehow. We'll get to this. That's going to be a whole reading in itself. So let's get 3 more of these. The past is done, absolutely, Bridge. It's really done. I can't express how much so. I read a long article about a guy who lives his entire life in a house full of everything he can from the 1990s. And I'm telling you, nostalgia used to be known as melancholy, and it was a disease that killed you. You can't have any of that. There's no point in nostalgia. You've lived it, you've done it. What you should really have is the notion of what a beautiful life is coming in the future. But in this eclipse tunnel, don't even think about that. Just step in the now. And that will clear both ends. Walk Unafraid by REM is playing in my head. I would say it's playing in mine, but I don't know it. Happy Halloween, Spirit 11111. You need to read, you need to look at the tomorrow on the 1st of the 11th, 111, at 11:11 in the evening GMT. The moon will move into Libra. It's very magical. I don't know what to do here because I've got 4 cards and they won't fit. So I'm going to put them like that. So, what's in the eclipse tunnel? Your animal guide, your Wakand. We just said that. It was just there in the last reading. What are you looking for in the tunnel as you walk in the now is for the code to clear the veil so that your animal guide can link with you in a way it never has before. It's sitting there, it's staring at you, it's willing you. So, standing in your truth, Heimdall, will give a new frequency. And it's really interesting that you've got man 20, which is yourself, myself, my personal space, and how your personal space will link back into humankind. And this is Dej plugged in to the world, walking only in the now, so that you can move the past and the future through the eye of the needle as you come out. You've also got Condor. And Condor is it's telling me to look at this as this part of yourself. So it's like this Condor energy is the acceptance of those Chiron wounds that we talked about earlier. It's that idea that there's some kind of spiritual pathway, or you look to the past previously and you feel some kind of discomfort or shame or distortion about this frequency in your past, and it feels a lot like an ulcer. It's not an ulcer. That's how you're perceiving it. You have to stop seeing your past as being full of ulcers. And I want to say, I'm hearing this thing of saying, someone saying, or people saying, when I look at my past, your past, when you look at your past, someone out there, it's this energy of saying, I kidded myself that people ever really liked me. That's a doubt frequency, and it's not a true frequency. It's an energy that you've created. And the whole point is that even if people did dislike you, it got you to this point now to move forwards in trust, because you understand the hurt that would give, and you wear that hurt as a sense of pride so that you can move forwards. And then what do we have with Dej and the needle? Underneath it, we have Villoldo giving the world back, but we also have the homeward journey, the journey back to self, the journey back to the world. This is what's in there. Also, the journey, the Bifrost, the bridge through which you are connected to you and your spirit animal, you and your higher self, your consciousness and the earth, your consciousness and physicality. This is the mirror, the perfect mirror of you alone. It's not some kind of cosmic mantle that's waiting. It's you in your truth. It's you perfectly mirrored. These are twins. You're twins, but you're now one with yourself and one with everything else somehow. Here go the bangs. So that's an interesting little sideline. So what I think I'm going to do now is let you ask some questions and we'll see if we can get some answers. I'm not promising we will, but sometimes we do. Oh, wasn't I going to say about stepping in the now? You decide. So if you are able to assist me with a tip or a donation, it's PayPal me at rustling around, as the beautiful Penelope will no doubt keep reminding you. What would I do without my agent? Thank you, Penelope. So what's going on out there, people? Beautiful Melanie. So does anyone have anything they'd like me to ask on behalf of the collective? Agent P is in the house. I've also got Agent E on here, and I've got Agent T currently. I'm just going to do something. I need Agent C as well. Bridge, you're under pressure now. So, ask about Jupiter transiting the galactic center. Okay. Let's just go here. Right, Neptune's involved. And Jupiter's underneath. Jupiter and Neptune. Right, I'm going to go into those energies. The galactic center is in... You see, it's interesting because obviously Jupiter's at home in Sagittarius, and that's where the galactic center is. But at the moment, there's a very strange sextile that's going on and being held open for a long period of time between Neptune and Pluto, and that's bringing some very strange energy. This is, I feel, let me just ask, I'm channeling this information that it's something to do with, because it's energy wings, Jupiter and Neptune are somehow connected in how they thread everything together. They bring everything back together. So all this kind of frayed dimensional stuff, it's almost like, you know, when you've got like some kind of thread and you burn it slightly and that melds all of the energies together. That's what Jupiter's frequency does. And on the 29th, Jupiter moves back into, they're moving back in together. They're getting in bed together, dirty buggers. So Neptune's in Pisces and Jupiter moves there on the 27th, 29th. And things will get a little bit hot under the collar. So, sorry. I think I'm channeling Rude Cindy now. Oh, there's one. That feels like Neptune. I feel like they're going to have an affair. Oh, look. Neptune's got the child and Jupiter has got the mystical shaman. That feels like they're swapping. Feels like they're swapping clothes. It feels like because they'll be in the same house, they've gone to the wardrobe. They've gone to the wardrobe and they've put on each other's clothes by mistake somehow. That's really interesting. I'm gonna bring you down and let's just see what's going on here. I mean, the thing is, the immediate thing, look, is that Neptune is ancestral lines. So Neptune remembers humanity as a child. And Jupiter is the expansive frequency of saying, oh, you're not there yet. You're not at mystical shaman territory yet. You've got the life force to grip it. Right, what's going on with Jupiter itself? Jupiter, what do you want to say? Jupiter's not talking to me. Neptune? I feel like Neptune's dominating the energy of Jupiter. Why? What are you up to, Jupiter? Jupiter has got this resistance. I can't, look, it keeps trying to pull backwards. Jupiter has not, so transiting the galactic center, Jupiter is preparing us for some kind of bigger frequency, mystical shaman frequency. So let's get some cards. Shall we have Thoth, the Raw Runes, or Motherpeace? I feel like Motherpeace wouldn't be involved, but it's for you to decide. Motherpeace from Eve, Raw from all my moderators are having a row now. Oh, okay. So Stella, basically, all planets have no gender, and yet they're all mainly named after men, apart from Venus and Ceres, which is an asteroid, not a planet as such. And what I do is I acknowledge that Gaia was the energy that birthed Uranus, And then together they created all the pantheon of gods. So for me, the planet Uranus is the flip side energy. There's two sides to the frequency. One is Gaia and one is Uranus. But Uranus is the energy that comes first. So I say Gaia and then Uranus, stop talking out your ass, basically. Because to me, the energy of in sound healing, the link is your crown chakra, and that is consciousness, and that comes from the galactic center of the universe through the veil. So to me, that's a much more Gaia frequency, not an Earth frequency. And I don't call the Earth Gaia. I call the Earth Earth. Okay, that's just something. And there's Mother Nature. There's all kinds of other things, but Mother Nature works as ops frequency, which is the reverse of Saturn. But I just don't like to confuse you all too much. Anyway, so we've got Raw Runes, Motherpeace, Raw Runes, Mother, both, Raw Runes. Okay, well, let's do some of each then. Because we can. That's the thing. I'm going to do Motherpeace first, because someone said that. Penelope said that first. And then, oh no, Eve said it first. Ooh, look, 7-7. From the womb of humanity, in the very beginning, came the child that is humanity. Interesting. Watermelons, I just want to say, I've got a watermelon in the fridge, and I'm going to put it through the juicer after this with some lime juice. That's a complete aside. Just saying. Watermelon and lime is a very nice combination. And I'm going to drink a whole watermelon's worth. Right, here we go. That's interesting. So, at the moment, we're in 12 frequency because we're not in the energy. The energy will shift when we get into after the 29th. And then we've got Empress frequency. And the Empress frequency is that which unblocks all that was blocked. So it's like the energy of Jupiter is stuck at the moment, and it will shift. Being shown the image of Jupiter's frequency as being very like stone, and everything's bubbling beneath the surface. So let's add some raw runes. It's definitely about Jupiter and Neptune working together in this transit. When does it move a degree? Which Jupiter, on the 29th, it will finally reach 1 degree, or 0 degrees of Pisces, and Jupiter is the old ruler of Pisces. Neptune is the new ruler when we discover the new planet. So under the 7 classical system of the planets back in the day that you could see with the naked eye, Jupiter ruled Pisces. In modern terms, now that we know about Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto, Neptune also rules. And so they will both it will have double rulership. So if you're a Pisces, I should imagine there's big, profound frequencies coming. That's interesting, because actually Cindy's Pisces reading picked up on that slightly. It was about stay focused. It's just giving me 2 at the moment. Ooh. Look, Flursa, the first birth, the first human. Neptune remembers this. Neptune remembers the beginning of humanity. And then the energy that we've got of them together is Wickercraft. This is the energy inside the galactic center of the universe, because this is the elder energy. An elder was it's a deeply magical tree, and in the tree reading, I seem to recall that elder is also Ash was the first man, elder was the first woman. There's something about this frequency to do with, I guess, that reminder that there's no male without there being a female. We need a womb, we need menstrual cycles to create life. And it's interesting, I just read a story about some buzzards or condors that fertilized their eggs without any males, because there's not very many males, and the eggs they birthed two male condors that they said had since died, but they didn't say whether they'd been hunted or an accident or whatever. But the interesting part was that the females knew there was no male around, and so they triggered something within inside the egg where it believes it's been fertilized, and so the male had no male DNA from a sperm, but had a male form of chromosome that was created by the mother. There's something about that being this energy. It's an acknowledgement of womb magic. It's an acknowledgement of breaking past 12 frequency, the static patriarchal system with borders and controls, into the fluidity of the Empress who births all life. That's the energy. I'm just going to get one more card. Maybe it's the bottom one. It is. It's the 13. It's the sacral. It's the U-tree. The sacral is the magical space in which life is created. So there's something about the acknowledgement of the female of the species being more magical than the male, I would guess, is what's coming. So I hope that was helpful. I'll put these cards back and we can go on. There you go. Love it. Thank you for your contribution. So let me pop all these back. Oh, thanks, Spirit 111. Oh, bye, Eve. Have a nice evening. Way! Thank you, Spirit. 1111. It's your day tomorrow. It might already be your day now. But at 11:11 p.m. GMT, don't forget, all them ones are going to be aligning around you. And Mars also moves into 1 degree of Scorpio that day. Oh, no, I've just put 2 sound healing cards in the Raw Runes. Luckily, they're a fraction bigger, so I can find them. Right, any more questions? Any old questions? Thank you, Eve, for your moderating skills. Your ears are ringing like mad. You've got Scorpio rising. I tell you, it's big season, big Scorpio season. And obviously the Scorpio season takes us into the lunar eclipse, which is a full moon in Taurus. Shall we ask about the full moon in Taurus? Oh, you asked a question. What was it? How far back is it? How far back is it? Yeah, do you know the thing about my poncho, while you're rewriting the thing? I don't like any of the ponchos I see here. So what I think I'm going to have to do is buy a really nice blanket, cut a poncho hole in it, and stitch and make my own poncho. They're not colourful enough. They're for really boring people that just want to walk around in grey. How, oh yeah, okay. How we use that's a great question. So rather than the actual this Scorpio new moon on the 4th, let me give you the time for that. Because I've got my book here. It's on the 4th of November at 21:14. And at that time, the sun will be at 12 degrees of Scorpio, as will the moon. So that's 12, breaking, I would imagine, that 12 frequency. Mercury is at 28 degrees of Libra. The Venus is at 29 degrees of Sagittarius. And Mars will be at 3 degrees. Very good band, if you don't know them. And it's to do with the genitals, the anus, the urethra, the ovaries. I feel like it's what we just talked about, but we're going to do it again. Oh, look, Neptune trying to get in on the act again there. So, shamanics. New moon, you saw me standing alone, without a fear in my heart, without a something I don't know. Well, what's really interesting is they've gone a bit quiet, but it began with silencing the past, this new moon, and coming out into a rainbow frequency. I mean, this is beautiful, beautiful energy. Oh, and it's 1441. Is Sasha in the house? She loves a 1441. 1441, coming out of a cursed mirror, dying and being reborn. So, 1441. I just said the sun and the moon are at 12 degrees and 13's come out, Crow. But it's come out with 19, fire. There's something about going through some kind of energy of fire. You've got to plunge your face into the fires, into the aether fires, because this is very fiery, but it's like you can't take off on that until you look deep inside yourself. I want to say there's something going back to that energy. Wassail Green Goddess, going back to that energy, dying is being and being reborn. I made nice progress on the other wind today. Oh, cool. Yeah, that's all about that. I probably shouldn't say that. So that's an Ursula Le Guin book, if you haven't read them, people. There's something teenage about this and then maturing, because we've got 14, 19, 13. There's something about going back to like a self-imposed energy of being a teenager and witnessing something in your life that you've almost never spoken to again. Just let go of it. It doesn't belong to your future energy. You're moving into a complete reverse of that frequency. And that breaks you. And that's what you're looking at. I'm going to go into this. I'm going to go into that card, this fire. Do we want pendulum? I think we do want pendulum. Let's pendulum this. You see, Patrick has very clever technology. I just pull the computer forwards. Look, dead energy. It's dead energy. It's dead. It's of no point. Whatever it is that you felt in puberty, everything you felt in puberty, you were meant to feel. You've got to stop thinking about it the way. Right, the rainbow. The rainbow's got this energy of life, but it's not swinging, it's not positive yet. It's the new moon frequency. It won't happen till you deal with the new moon. What are you plunging yourself into? You see, that's about, it's going just around the face. There's a face in this card. It's tiny movement. It's a tiny step that feels like it's a great big, I'm getting Pluto frequency again on this card. Look at that, look at that, look at that. Breaking free of a thought curse, of a silence, of something that you went through in puberty that just doesn't belong. Swing it round. So I want to look into this 19. What's in? Oh, let's have the Egyptians. Walk like an Egyptian. Right, so yeah, look, this is really interesting. Just look at those two cards. 4 is a little bit like the Fool card. And 29 is psychophysical fatigue, a drop in energy. So you've got 4, which is lightheartedness and unawareness. So it's like, this is like something in your past that you can't remember. So this new moon is going to bring that energy towards you to look inside, deep inside your soul and remember something to turn you around. But you're going to feel, as you look in, it's going to feel slightly fatiguing, but exciting. So like a drop in energy to bring you back up, to fly on the wings of a rainbow. So let's just have a little Motherpeace. No, I think. Yeah, the cat is kind of, it's sort of pulling on the skirt. It's like when the Fool card, you have the dog biting at the leg. This is scratching on the leg, and it's a kind of playfulness that hurts. But it's the idea of the cat scratching is to draw blood, is to release a story. I don't mean you have to bleed. I just mean that it's like an itch that you haven't scratched for a long time that needs to be scratched so that you can butcher's brom it, sweep it out, clean it up. There's been a lot about cleaning up wounds, but this is like a hidden wound. This is like something that you may have done that you have never told anybody. You don't need to tell anybody. You just need to go, why is that still in me as a distorted frequency, even though I haven't thought about it for a very long time? So it's a transformative new moon, but you can only transform it when you recognize it. Overburdened and stuck. Overburdened and stuck. We're moving to Crow 13 frequency. So that was a curse on the rainbow. You've got to turn around that sense of being overburdened. It's Saturn in Sagittarius, which is the restriction the tightness of Saturn stopping you from transforming what's hidden in the fire, because it's mutable fire. So what's in the mutable fire? What's in the mutable fire of Sagittarius? What's in this mutable fire? Oh, it's Venus. It's got to be to do with love, because Venus is in Sagittarius. It's something that is like a first love that's a shaming frequency somehow. Someone you first were sexually drawn to who maybe you shouldn't have been. It's almost like getting sexually aroused and thinking, oh my God, that's, so-and-so who I shouldn't be sexually aroused by. You were in puberty. The stupidest things can arouse you. It's not your truth, but you've never quite let go of it, but you don't think about it anymore. That's what I'm sensing. So in the fire was a kind of sexual failure, something that made you think you plugged into the wrong frequency. That's what I'm getting here. And every time you do think about it, on those rare moments when this incident has come up, that's what fatigues you. That's what drains you of energy. It's a shame drain. And then where's the crow taking this? Ooh. So it's an adjustment. Mercury, fluidity. Mercury's in Libra at this point of the new moon. So Mercury is a good one to work with. Mercury will help you to just admit the truth to yourself, which is you were just in puberty. Whatever this curse that you've created for yourself that's to do with some kind of sexual self-wounding, it's so irrelevant. It's really interesting. We've got the Seven of Cups, toxic emotions, and a Tower moment. It's almost like it's an alarm that goes off in your head that makes you panic. So, Brandy, I think this is exactly it. It's something that feels like a really foggy, heavy frequency. So let's get Titchy Thoth on the journey through it. What's the journey through this? 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 I feel like that one came. So the first two cards out that are with these two and with the curse and the rainbow, that changing, that turning round of the darkness into light, is actually the Chariot 7 and the Prince of Discs. The Chariot in this deck, to me, is always about retuning self-love, retuning your sacral, moving in energy forwards. Now, it's interesting, it was in preparation for the full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus. So you're being given a chance during this period to retune yourself. I would suggest looking at the rest of that reading. Remember, there's that beautiful, straight after, 4 days after the new moon, we hit that alignment of the sacral on the 8th. So the next cards that came out, this is really interesting. So with the sexual shame part that might rise, I'm not saying it will for everybody. There'll be much more to this moon when I do the full reading, but this is the energy that's coming up right now, a sexual shaming. You've got the 9 of Swords, pull out all the wounds, clean up the swords, followed by the 10. Okay, and that's got the 8. It's like going back in time to see the 8 swords. You've pulled out all 9, and then right in the center of this card, you see two little tiny swords cutting through, and it's repairing the heart. So it's an ending of endings. It's time to change. It's time to let the energy of the Scorpio moon change this frequency. And then that was a 10. And then on that difficult tower moment that you're adjusting to freedom, we've got another two 10s. And this time we've got returning to the world in the tree of life and the wheel of fortune being able to move forwards. So this is 10, 10, 10. This is really big magical energy. So that's the moon, the new moon. But it's only one aspect to the new moon. There will be others. Yeah, let the shame go away. Do you know, the thing is, the shame is allowing other people's ideas to tell you how you should live your life. They don't have that right. Nobody has that right. You get to decide how you live your life, because that's freedom, 13 frequency, divine feminine womb energy. Because in some years, like last year, there were 13 full moons, so women can have 13 menstrual cycles. This is definitely, there's got this energy of womb magic coming through at the moment in these readings. So it must be something out there where some kind of sacral healing needs to go on in people that are listening, that's to do with the womb and menstrual cycles. Even if you don't have menstrual cycles now and you've reached the crone stage, it's still a power that is there within you. Yes, you can't create the life anymore, but you've still got the womb magic. It never goes away. So, it is your lives, your freedom. Don't let anyone tell you anything. I've done all kinds of crazy things sexually, and do you know what? I love it, because otherwise I wouldn't be who I am now. And if anyone wants to shame me about it, it won't work. Because I'll just look at them and go, you're just a prude and you've never enjoyed sex. No, that doesn't matter either, though. You know, hysterectomies and things, it doesn't matter. You still have that frequency in the memory of your DNA. It's still 13 frequency and it's still magic. With it or without it, you still got that magic. And it's divine empress, high priestess frequency magic. And it's beautiful. You know, I'm there with you, Melanie, because there's so much of that around. So, any more questions? Any more questions? It's 2:03:04. Just thought I'd say that on the timestamp there. 2:34. Do you know what, Spoken Spatter? I would imagine that's true. Last night I was reading lots of things about ghost stories, and there are many cultures that believe that fetuses, that there are ghost fetuses and things. And in China, they used to put a tablet to the dead. When you died, a man's name was written on a special tablet, and a woman could only be put on the tablet of a man's life. And so if she died and she was unmarried or childless, she was not going to be remembered on a tablet. So if there was an unmarried man, he could ghost marry her. He could marry her as a ghost. And sometimes they talked about the ghosts of women becoming pregnant and giving birth to live children. There's all kinds of really strange energies out there, but on the whole, it's just basically hitting women over the head and telling them, get married, do what your husband says, have kids, shut up, or you won't get remembered on a tablet when you're dead. So, have we got any more questions? I saw the King of Air in the clouds. Oh, can you pull a card about that? The King of Air in the clouds feeding a deer from his bowl. I'm going to use these. So the King of Air feeding a deer. I kind of am already being told to say it's a reminder of that spirit of the White Hart. It's about how air sent something as an omen, but we'll see what it says anyway. So what do we have? I mean, this isn't quite the White Hart, but it's got that energy of the White Hart. It's more like a white unicorn. This is freedom. It's talking about the energy of freedom in air epoch, in the sky. And it's also about each of us has the power to own our own wheel of fortune. When we have Zen of thoughts, when we clean up our thoughts, when we're King of Air in our mind, living in the now, you hold your own wheel of fortune. You control your own fortunes, but you don't control what's coming as such. For the moment, you just live in the now, and that controls everything. Sovereignty, 9 of discs, play the game, roll the dice. This is our energy. This is the energy of a sort of snakes and ladders. This energy of rising up and falling down, and every part of it, instead of being stressed when you fall down, you're seeing how that's going to allow you to climb higher as you move through. You just might need to repeat the story. But this is about complete sovereignty and laughter. There's a real strong sense of joy in that card. And then the tower moment, they're saying, stop seeing tower moments as disturbing. Every tower moment is they're saying it's like a comedy script. It's something to be amused by. And when people go, oh, not another tower, you should be clapping your hands and going, I love a tower. So this deer and the king of in the sky, because there's lightning coming down from the sky. So 10 of swords, king of air, 10 of swords, end things, bloody well end things, or you have no freedom. All trauma that you carry and you can't let go of or integrate stops you moving forwards. It fixes you in the sky with the heart frozen in time unless you can move forwards. And then we've got the 6 of discs, which is to flow, but there's something about this card to me in this deck is about letting go of the old you and becoming a new you. Almost like in the Egyptian form of mummifying, wrapping bandages. This old version of you is just dead. It's of no point. Drowned in the sea, off the cliff edge, with all the others of humanity that got confused, and just renewing yourself as this frequency of sovereignty, this frequency where you're playing your game, you're rolling your dice. They're saying you're celebrating your tower moments. And everyone else is down there kind of worrying about it, but you're sitting on the top of the tower going, bring it on, Twitty. So, one last card. Oh, I wanted one. I wanted one because I was making a little shield down here. So look, this is, again, it's talking about, it's the Eight of Swords. You corner yourself. You create the blockages with your thoughts. You stab at the wall rather than seeing the correct solution, which is, this person doesn't need to be there. This is a person full of anxiety that's almost losing their mind trying to find a way out. The wall doesn't exist. What really exists is manifesting your own existence, rolling your own dice, living the world in the way that you see fit to. And this has got the energy, I was going to say it's very Egyptian, but actually what I'm getting from this is Sumerian, getting a much older frequency. It's almost like where you've tripped up before. Do you see on this card, there's a foot in the water, in the cup, and then there's a foot in the soil, there's a sword in the heaven, and there's a fire in the hand. But you're now standing on cloth almost, on fabric. You've become something new. These are the old frequencies, and this new skin that you're wearing is what's up in the sky, in the heavens, as a cosmic energy of celebration. So that was another one. Well, home issues, money issues, all of those kinds of things are things where we block ourselves by not believing in the flow. So up until me moving to Mexico, I didn't have to ask very often for people to donate money because money flowed. And then when I came to Mexico, it kind of dropped by about 1/10, the amount of money that came in. And I could have then gone into a frequency where I say, oh, that's it, I'm not getting any money anymore. Or I could just go, I'm still getting all the money I need. I'm not starving. And so you have to trust in the flow of money. It's a really difficult energy though. When I first unblocked myself to accept flow, it was about me always being generous, but never being able to receive gifts from other people. And that was really hard. It was really complicated. And you have to trust that the universe has an abundance for you if you're willing to accept it. And sometimes the test is accepting the flow of things from places that you might never have previously felt comfortable with. And when you can accept that kind of frequency, then you realize you really are in an abundance. It's very difficult because I have a friend and she always says, how much did you just pay for that? And I always say now, rather than telling her the price, I just say, I don't know. And actually, I don't know, because if I go in a shop, look, pesos are very complicated. You seem to need hundreds and thousands of pesos to pay for anything. And if I question anything and say that's too expensive for me, then that's what it becomes. Whereas if I just assume that whatever I pay for something is what the universe felt was a fair exchange, I don't then block the fluidity in my life. So it's the same with living in places. You have to accept that the cosmos wants to home you. It's very difficult. I do understand that. But that's all part of this, the early part of this message, which is doubt or trust. One drop of doubt wipes it all out. You have to try and remain in trust. Yeah, do you know what? I've got an outfit years ago. There was that exact leopard skin outfit, only I wore it to a Studio 54 party. And some of you might have seen it because I sent a copy of it to Rob. I suppose I can show you it. If I can find it. If my phone lets me scroll, because you see, it doesn't. There's something wrong with my phone. I dropped it this morning and the screen's cracked and the top parts come away from the phone and the touchscreen just doesn't work properly now. I can't type. The microphone had stopped working before. It was all a bit, but I'm not getting rid of this phone. I'm determined to hang on to this phone. I will get it fixed. I've just got to keep skimming back, but it's a bit slow. But I'll show you what you need, Twitty. My thing is I don't know where the photograph is. I've got thousands of photographs on here because I bought a phone with a large memory. I feel like it will be a long way back because it was a long time ago. Oh my goodness, it's getting stuck. I will be with you again in a minute, but let's see if we can find this. Oh, I've had to go back to the very beginning and now scroll back down. But I really don't remember where it is. Because everything in my past, other than these photographs, is just a blur. I don't recall when things happen in my life because they're past. See, suddenly I'm in Peru now. My stomach's gurgling. Maybe I need a drink of water. It keeps pulling up things like images of Machu Picchu. No, maybe it's not coming. It's showing me anything but that picture. I just have no memory of when I would have saved it to my phone because it was not ever on this phone. It gives you a nice chance to chat yourselves while I scroll through. I would really like to show it to you, but it's not seeming to turn up. Oh, here it is. So, here's what you need. You need a little leopard skin outfit like that. So, that was me going to a Studio 54 party. So, any more questions? I know. The thing was, it was a Studio 54 party, and you were meant to dress as if you were from Studio 54. So I copied the outfit from a real outfit that someone wore, and I was very good friends with Zandra Rhodes, and she's a UK fashion designer, and she used to go to Studio 54. So I took her so that she could relive falling asleep on top of a speaker. I'm just shuffling these. I'm not reading them. I'm just shuffling them, waiting to see if you have any final questions before I close the live. Thank you. I felt like I needed to show you it so that, you know, we can all remember that once upon a time I was in my 20s. Yeah, she has amazing pink hair. Oh, look, the moon came out. I'm not reading it. I'm just saying the moon fell out. Do I have insurance on the phone? No. I don't believe in any insurance for anything. The thing is, I'm not a clumsy person, but there was a spirit turned up in the garden last night. And when I went to answer the gate this morning and I opened the door where the spirit was last night, my phone just flew out of my hand and smashed on the floor. I'll get it fixed tomorrow. They're very good here. I did buy a screen to replace it, but I think the whole front needs replacing. I've never had so many problems with technology as when I left the UK. I dropped my iPad and my phone at the same time in France, just close to my birthday. And then when I got here, this lovely guy changed the battery in my phone, which meant instead of buying a new phone, I got a brand new battery. But then the camera didn't work on the front, so he fixed that. But then the microphone wouldn't work whenever I was on WhatsApp. So it's just been a whole weird series of things. And as I say, it flew out of my hand and broke. And I'm having to put this thing on to hold the screen down. It's all cracked and you can't touch any of the screen properly and get it to work. Can the spirit of our future ancestors and past ancestors come out? Yes, they can, absolutely. I had a dog who was very human called Mabel. And she came back to me as a spirit and she taught me all this wonderful stuff that's in a reading on the playlist called Good Grief. And then she walked back with me to my parents' flat. My dad was in hospital because he'd broken his hip. And she sat down on the sofa and she morphed into my mum's mum. And she laughed at me and said, "You daft bugger, did you never realise?" And what I want to say is that when these past or future ancestors do inhabit the body of a pet, it's not like their full consciousness goes in there. It's just like all they can fit in is one fingertip, but it's still the essence of them. And it was very odd because, you know, I often see my brother and I kept thinking, why do I never see my nan? Why is my mum's mum never around? And it's because for 12 years she was in the dog. Yeah, watch that energy. Watch the reading. It's called Good Grief When Pets Pass. This is the energy of details. Details, people. Take care of the details. Oh, someone actually, you've put questions. Russell's plans in the year 2033. I'm going to answer that one. But we were going to ask what was going to. Someone asked, I think Penelope asked, what's happening in the new year? So 2033 for me. What's going on 2033 for me? What's going on 2033 for me? That's a weird set of cards. I'm going to gather many, many paths. Gathering many, many paths. Why am I gathering many, many paths? Why am I gathering many, many paths in 2033? It's 34 and 3. So there is 21 is 3 and then 3, 4. It's like a step forwards. What's going on in 2033 for me then? 2033. 2033. 2033. Oh, it's powerful energy. The Heart of Sky and Lightning. The Heart of Sky and Lightning. And that's got 30 again. Right, I need to put something else on it. Let's put some runes on it. Sacral root work is best. Yeah, so no, don't worry about the root for the moment. Just work on the sacral. You've got to clean up your sacral by looking for all the aspects within yourself that you punish yourself for. And you've got to integrate them and understand why you went through them and how it makes you better. Oh, that's cool. You're getting a new phone. I don't want a new phone. I love this phone. I keep this phone. It's an SE because I like to do everything on my phone with just one thumb. I don't want two hands involved. And I bought it with massive memory. It's a harvesting year. Gathering to harvest. Neptune's still ringing to my voice. Shadows and nutrients. Nid. That's under many paths. It's like I will have experienced so many dark paths that I can gather together to reach the light of the heart of the sky. So, the heart of the sky and lightning, heart of the sky and lightning. Oh, who asked this question? It's a very important year. There's a destiny for me in that year. There's some big completion, but it's a point in time that I'm heading to that will grip me and then spark something new. I'm holding them the wrong way. Interesting. Going to write that down. 2033. 2033. 2033. Destiny. There. So listen, what is the destiny? What is this destiny? What is this destiny then? That was quite violent. Spanhamir. That's my most favourite destiny point, but I'm not waiting until 2033 for it. That's Lady Heaven. It's 13 frequency. I think it's kind of talking about reaching that point of knowing that nothing will ever go back. Because this is Villoldo. They create a new world. But they create a new world out of the shadows, and that was the need. So there's something about, I feel like it's talking about maybe a story or a book or something that I create from my experiences very late in life. Yeah, 2033 is now too. Everything's now. And you can channel into it. I mean, for me, I don't feel like I've lived here on Earth before, so I feel like all my past lives are in the future. But that's just saves having all that karmic crap hanging over you, which I don't quite fully accept. So, anything else? Otherwise, I'm going for some tamales that I have waiting to be reheated. I'm just eating tamales all the time, and spinach and potatoes. Oh no, I don't need a new phone. Sorry, honestly, I don't need a new phone. I love this phone. I'm just going to get it fixed. Because here in Mexico, they fix things. They don't throw things away. It's really great. It's so lovely. And I have a very old phone that's another one of these that had like no memory space on it. And I got the battery changed in that just in case I ever am with a broken phone. I can at least put my chip into it. But I love this phone. It's got masses of memory. No, I don't mean memories. Yeah, I mean it's got old photos, but I mean it's got memory space because they keep spoiling it. I did say eat tamales last video because I eat tamales all the time. That's my only food. That and spinach and potatoes. I just can't stop. They're wrapped in banana leaves. And when you do them in banana leaves, the banana leaf puts this perfume inside the corn dough. Oh my God, it's so good. Yes, I'm going to try Pan de Muerto tomorrow. They've been selling it everywhere, but I'm not having it till it's the Day of the Dead. I've got no idea what it is, but I imagine it's got a lot of sugar in it. Yeah, and I'm going to get a blanket to make into a poncho. It needs to be bright colours. I can't be wearing dark colours. And I thought I might go and get it on Day of the Dead, and then I can spend Day of the Dead stitching it while I think about dead people. I'm doing my brother on the first. I'm doing on my mum and dad on the second. Bye, Alam and Nan. Yeah, the banana leaves, Teresa, they're so amazing. And I love tamales because you can stuff them with anything. I've got very good at making them. Yeah, that's exactly it. I'm going to be in all colours and none, just like your little thumbnail. Yeah, in Oaxaca, they do have beautiful ponchos. At the moment, this over the map won't let me go to Oaxaca. And I want to go there, but the crystal says no. I've been told, stay up this mountain for another month, then you can go somewhere else. And it won't tell me where. Wanted to go to the Pyramid of the Sun and the Moon, but I cannot get the pendulum to move in that direction at all. It's like you're not allowed there. Do you know what? I don't know how much it'll be to fix my phone, but it was only about £20 to have the battery changed, whereas it would have been like £600-700 to buy a new phone, if not more. They're very, very good here. The only thing that I find expensive here is accommodation, because Airbnb doesn't change its prices wherever you are in the world. And it's food. And I don't understand how people eat, because the salaries that people are on here are so tiny. And it's really it's a little bit stressful at the inequalities that exist within the world. I read the other day that if you earn more than, I don't know what it is in other currencies, but it was a UK article, if you earn more than £26,000 a year, you are in the top 10% of earners in the whole world, which shows you how little 90% of the world's population lives on. It's really quite shocking. So in my world that I'm going to create in the Eclipse tunnel that I come out of, all of that shit stops and everyone is entitled to whatever they want, because we should be. Why should you be poor just because of the womb you came out of? I've never understood that. Never understood that. Why should somebody be the hereditary future king because of the womb they came out of? We all come out of magical spaces and we all deserve the same. We all deserve opportunity and happiness. What, you want me to do a sound? Okay, I'll do a sound to end. I'll take the cards and we'll just shift through. Right, it's going to be C sharp, the spine, Pluto. That's really interesting because when I was watching Rinsing, I was thinking how there's a compression of the spine going on that needs undoing. And then she mentioned the spine. So, right. I'm laughing because it said, look at the bottom card, or the top card rather, from the, because I usually pick top and the bottom, so it's Chiron on the nervous system. So I do need to join them up for you. So let me just find that C sharp because it's not, it does feel compressed. It's not open. It's not resonating as it should do. Look, UK time, 1:10. That's my birthday. 1st of the 10th. See, the nervous system is better than the spine. The spine is under some kind of compression. The spine is under some sort of compression from its failure to, from our failure to let go of failure. We allow failure to play over in our mind. So, coming into a new self. 7-7. Coming into new energy, the spine being renewed is coming, and it brings you into your power. How? So, letting go, exiting that overburdened sense of failure. It's like, there's someone, I'm hearing a voice in my head saying, oh, you're useless, or you don't try hard enough, or things that adults say to children that they think will somehow inspire them to work harder, but is actually an overpowering burden that leads to a continuation of failure. But this is about moving out of it. And that's another 7. We've got 3 7s now. Cosmic pathways. And then it ends with this energy, I guess, that this decompression of the spine will take place on the 19th of November, in the lunar eclipse, the full moon in Taurus. And that's when we will start to deal with the wounds of Chiron as the rest of the earlier part of the reading said. Yeah, we just have to let go of them. And every time they come back up, we just have to keep saying to ourselves, no, I'm not doing that conversation anymore. I'm rewriting the pathways in my neural network. Yay, your kid came home. Okay, so beautiful people. Thank you for joining me for that reading. And there will be a full new moon reading probably tomorrow. I'll probably do that once I've got my phone fixed, because when I take it I have to be without my phone for 2 hours wandering around the town. But it's also Day of the Dead tomorrow, so I've got lots to do, lots of exciting things. There should be celebrations up there. So have a beautiful evening, everybody. Thank you all for my moderators. Thank you all for joining in the conversation, for inspiring me with your energies. And I will see you all very, 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 very soon. So, wassail, beautiful people.